Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Finesse and Failure podcast with your host, Courtney Amanda, the owner of the Finesse and Failure podcast. So, this episode is about what you do when your original plan did not work and the truth about starting over. As y'all know, I have started over in 3 different cities. I'm about to start over in my 4th different city in 2026, and honestly, I think if nobody else, I'm the best person to tell you guys why starting over, whether that's in a different city or period, is the best idea for your self-confidence, for discipline, for motivation, for all of that. So in some of my former lives, I used to be sick and shut in, depressed, anxiety ridden, sad, but the one thing that remained the same throughout this entire process of picking up my life and moving, not talking to people for months and months on end, was I remained loved, I remained cared for, and most importantly, I remained strictly a center in my support system. The most important thing that you want to remember when you are starting over is it's not something you should be embarrassed about or disappointed in. It honestly should be something that you are so proud of yourself for doing, because most people, when they fail at something, when they don't succeed, they just stop trying altogether. The hardest part about rebuilding, rebranding, and starting over is the fact that you need to know when it's time to do those things and actually getting up and doing those things, and not letting something as small and trivial as not succeeding, not winning, stop you in your tracks. Remember, failure is not the end all be all. You still have so many more hours, minutes, days, weeks, months, years. So why not just start all over again? Here's some of the lessons that I want to give you about starting over, starting fresh, and the truth behind why starting over for me has been so much easier in the process of the last couple of years than probably someone else. Number one, disappointment, grief, and the feeling like your world is crumbling around you is normal. People sit here and think that tragedy does not strike, that failure does not strike, it is not real. Wrong. Those things are completely normal, and we face them every single day. You don't pass your test. You didn't get an A. You flunked out of college. You quit your job. You got fired from your job. You are single now because the person that you were with cheated on you. Whatever the case may be, having disappointment in yourself, having disappointment in life itself, normal. Grief, normal. You can even, people think that grief is only when you are grieving the loss of someone, whether that's the loss of a relationship, a relative, your old self. Grief is normal. And as soon as you normalize being disappointed, grieving something, whether you're not only grieving them, but you could be grieving the old version of yourself. The girl that used to go out all the time and have a good time, and now you're a girl who sits in the room and reads all the time. You can grieve the old version of yourself. That is completely normal. And the feeling that your world is burning down around you because so much is changing so quickly is normal. I'm going to give you some examples. Times that I was disappointed in myself. I was disappointed in my abilities when I got passed over for not one, but 2 jobs. I was disappointed in myself when I dropped out of college because it just wasn't for me, because all my friends were still in school. All my friends were graduating, especially when 2019, 2020 came around and I saw everyone graduating and I was just working and I had nothing to show for it. I was disappointed when I couldn't afford a brand new car, because all I was doing was working. And if I didn't have the material stuff, how did I know I was working? Like, what was I working for? I was disappointed in myself when I wanted to start a travel agency, and a group travel agency at that. And the last thing that I remember doing was quitting. I remember being disappointed in myself when my mom would call and tell me, "Hey, when are you coming home?" And I had to tell her, "I can't afford to come home right now. I have to work." Grief for me, I grieved in July, when I realized that the relationship that I had spent so much time and effort in and building was over. I grieved when I lost a friend because that version of me no longer could have that person as my friend or an everyday person in my life. Grief is normal. And the moment you feel like your life is burning down around you because everything is happening all at one time, that is when you know your life is about to change. And it's up to you for it to change for the better or for the worse. For me, this year, my life from February, from February until October, I felt like my life was burning down. Passed up for job after job, applying to different jobs, interviewing, not hearing back from people, the loss of motivation, the loss of friends, just overall the loss of myself. This year, it felt like my world was crumbling. Got into a car wreck, totaled my car. Like it was just like hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. It genuinely felt like my life was crumbling. And then one good thing happened. And then another good thing happened. And then another good thing happened. And now, finishing 2025, I probably was the happiest that I had been in months, in almost a year. So it is completely normal. Sometimes, oh, I have a sticky note for you guys. I wrote it down. I wanted to make sure I showed it to y'all. I don't even know when I wrote this down, but it's a sticky note in here. I think I did it at work, or I wrote it down at work. The sticky note says, you thought life was whooping your ass. Whole time it was shaping you to receive what was already yours. Yeah. 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 Another thing is failure isn't always loud. It can be quiet. You can quietly fail at something. You can quietly not succeed. You can quietly take your L. You can quietly take your L and keep rebuilding. I totaled my car this year. That was an L for me. I genuinely did not think I could afford a car. Did not think I could afford the kind of car that I wanted. Genuinely, I just thought I couldn't afford it. What did I do? I sat down, I reshaped, I revamped, I looked at my finances. I said, all right, Court, you can afford a car. Car. Done. This is a question that I've answered already on one episode, but I keep thinking and it keeps coming back to me and why it's so important. It's important because how do you know when it's time to rebrand? When every single day is more comfortable than the day before. You wake up every single day, same routine, same everything. That's because you're too comfortable. And that's okay. You can be too comfortable. But it might be time to pivot, especially if you're comfortable and unhappy. I was not only comfortable, I was unhappy. I was unhappy in the comfort that my life was just the same every single day, the same old mundane tasks every single day. I was tired of being the same. I was tired of doing the same thing, facing the same challenges. So I knew for me, that's when something had to give. Something had to give. This is another one. What's it like to restart in your late 20s? Girl, this is the question. It's scary. Actually, scary isn't the best word. It is terrifying. It's terrifying because you've already been comfortable. You've already started shaping your life. You've already started building those rest of your life friendships. And now you're about to start all over somewhere new, someplace new, doing something. It's scary. But for character development, it is detrimental that you do it. You're going to meet someone. Y'all seen this trend, right? You're going to meet someone, X, Y, and Z. It's very important. You're going to meet someone in your late 20s that challenges you to change your life. It is very important that you listen to them, that you follow them, that you let them guide you. Because I'm not going to lie, I didn't just up and say, hey, I'm changing my life around today. No, I met someone in my late 20s, I'm 28, that challenged me and said, Why are you still doing this if it makes you unhappy? You can do whatever you want in the world. And realizing that you have free will in your late 20s is so crazy because we chase consistency, we chase stability, we chase financial maturity, but we don't chase what makes us happy. And all of those things can be done in one foul swoop. So that's what it's like to change or to restart in your 20s. Restarting in your late 20s can be challenging mentally and physically. You can go from being super comfortable and stable to being extremely uncomfortable, unstable, but still willing to see where this can go. Here's some of the things that people do not say when it comes down to failure, pivoting, changing your life around, and understanding when your plan doesn't work. Number one, the actual feeling of grief. What does it feel like? I can't put it into words for you. I can't tell you what my grief felt like because it could be completely different for you. I technically didn't start grieving until a year later when I thought about what my life could have been like if. Number two, what it's like in the in-between season. Let's start from the top. What is the in-between season? The in-between season is when you are going from, like, your start is making the decision to change your life. And then the end being your goal. I want to change my life. The goal. I want to have a house by X, Y, and Z. The in-between season starts right in the middle. Between you being able to celebrate and you being mentally challenged to start. The in-between season is so important because it is what really shapes you as a character. It is what really puts you in that go mode. It is what really shows you if you have it in you. If you're going to quit halfway through, if you're not going to start at all, whatever the case may be, the in-between season is the most challenging. And my in-between season will start in February when I am balancing these two jobs, this new place, these new relationships, this new everything. That is what my in-between season is going to look like because I'm going to be challenging myself to do more. Number three, the feeling of being behind. Being in your late 20s and pivoting and changing and challenging yourself to do more stuff. I'm just starting X, Y, and Z, but I've met people who have been in this field, in this entrepreneurial game, in this lifestyle for 5, 10, 15 years. Not even that. You now feel behind because as soon as you get on Facebook and you start scrolling, the first thing you see is people celebrating their wins, people telling you about their accomplishments, people traveling, you feel like you're behind because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Here's a tip, and I'm just going to say it and be done with it. My life's happiness is not dependent. My life's happiness is not dependent on the Joneses. I don't know what the Joneses did to get to where they at right now. I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but I know that me building my life brick by brick by brick by brick by brick by brick is the only thing that's going to make me happy. Because at the end of the day, as soon as I reach that level of what I call success, I know that my life was built because I built it brick by brick. And I am happy with the journey I had to go on to do it. I'm happy with the outcomes that they came. And I'm going to keep praying that the life that I am living is the life that I wanted, that I built, that I dreamed. That's it. Number 4, rebuilding, revamping, rebranding, and starting all over from scratch. People often go in a silent mode, an isolation mode. Some people even take it as far as telling their significant others, their families, and I quote, "Hey guys, I still love you, but I need space. I need to find myself. I'm chasing clarity, not chaos. I'm building what was broken. I'm fixing my fate." That's it. I like to tell my close friends and my family when I am going through this season because it can be a lot, especially if you have a relationship, to just go silent. to have something on your mind at all times and be spaced out in the middle of a conversation, because it does put a wear and tear on those relationships. Be upfront, be honest, tell these people, hey, I want to hang out, but I can't. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. When I was finishing up my degree, my friends knew, hey, this girl is in those books. That phone is going to be on do not disturb. She doesn't want to be disturbed. She doesn't want to go out. She doesn't want to party right now. She has a goal she's trying to achieve. And when she achieves it, I know she'll be back out. She'll be back out turning up with us. She'll be back out having a good time. She'll be out and about. Baby, I promise you. This is another tip that I have learned that I want to share with you guys. The hardest part about rebuilding your life is accepting that your old life is no longer open to you. The old you is out. Your old habits, your old mannerisms, all of that stuff that kept you in the position you were in before is out. Your new life, your introduction to your new life, you don't have to change everything about yourself. You don't have to change the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you look. You are going to have to change a couple of things about yourself in order to accept who you are now. The girl I am at 28 years old is not the same girl I was at 18. And that shows significant growth. It's been 10 years. Of course, I'm not the same person. And some people may say, you've changed since last year. I'm more mature. I've changed the way I look at life. I've changed the way I look at money. I've changed the way that I look at anything, honestly. I don't want to be out in the club anymore, shaking ass until 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. No, I'd rather be rubbing my feet together in the bed, watching a TV show or reading a book or reading the Bible or doing something else with my time. Granted, that's one of the drastic changes that I've made in my life, but what are you going to make it? What are you going to do in your life? Now, this brand was started in 2022. 2022, Finesse and Failure. I started it as a podcast, as a YouTube channel, as a movement, because I wanted other business owners to know that just because you fail once doesn't mean you can't win again. Just because you see everybody else glowing, growing, getting everything they paved their way for doesn't mean you can't do that as well. And I started it because I wanted other entrepreneurs to know that teaching was a good way to learn. But now for me, Finessing Failure has also pivoted away from being business oriented and entrepreneurial oriented. Sometimes Finessing Failure could be making another decision in life. Finessing Failure is learning how to move forward. Finessing Failure is about learning how to move forward when life doesn't go the way we planned it the first time. Being courageous enough to say, that didn't work, what's next? For me, this is the season of relearning not only myself, but my business. Shifting my identity to the woman that I want to be instead of the girl I was. Financially resetting without the embarrassment of knowing I messed up. Discipline after being let down because of my lack of consistency. Having faith during my in-between and my waiting seasons. Learning to trust myself, putting trust in God and the abilities that He has given me. If you're watching this and you fear starting over, you're scared, you're terrified, you don't know where to start, it's not too late. You're not broken. You're in the middle of a breakthrough. And you'll know exactly when it is time to start over. You just have to listen to that inner monologue. As always, with lots of love from the Finesse and Failure podcast and the Finesse and Failure family. I will see you guys in our next episode. Bye.